here we come. We got Lynn, we got Shem. When my team heard that we were coming to see you, they said you can't leave us behind. So I brought my team with me. They already headed up to their room because it's late world and we want to sleep. But we are heading to Superior Cabinets for the ultimate tour tomorrow morning. We'll see you soon, Joe. The whole crew, we're all, there's Linsky, there's the MDF team. We're all coming to see you, Joe. Just arrived at Superior Cabinets and we're sitting in their luxurious break room. I forgot about this break room. I gotta check this place out.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Sam.
Yeah.
Shem. I'm Brad.
Brad.
I'm Lynn.
Lynn, how you guys? Good to see you.
This is a beautiful country drive. I was blown away.
We've been in business for 28 years, but we've been doing lean for the last 8 years. And the difference is a cabinet shop that was just barely keeping the lights on, just really shouldn't have been in business, or actually was going down the tubes, because back in '08 was as close as I could get to almost losing the ranch. But now with lean, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. And this facility's big, it's just a beautiful thing. It's fun, and it's like starting a brand new business all over again. So I'm 57, and it's exciting. Where before it was like, I'm killing myself. I'm working so hard, and I'm just spinning my wheels, actually going backwards. So what I was saying is everybody out there, they didn't have any woodworking experience at all. Coming from different things, are all very Michael has been with me for 20 years, and he's one of my right-hand men, and both my sons, obviously, they've been here since they've been tiny, but you're going to get to see out there. And I think what's cool about the lean thing is if your processes are so clean and so good, and you make it so that they can't make a mistake, then you're going to start rolling, And we do a lot of cross-training here. That's huge for us. Where we're small, we call it calling an audible too. So if a department, Jared will line the guys out. Hey, this is what has to happen today. This is where we need to be at. If something's falling behind, one of the lead guys can throw an audible, say, I'm going to need some help. And that's where the cross-training is so huge, because we'll bring somebody from a different department. They'll come in. He's not showing them because they've already been trained what to do, and they can go. The other cool thing about cross-training is if somebody gets married, somebody goes on the vacation, somebody's sick. I just had a guy that tore his Achilles. I had all these things just happen here recently, like a ton of things. Well, we were just shifting guys around, and we were kind of on a skeleton crew, but the whole thing was still rolling, So we'll start this off. This is it's kind of a multi-purpose room. It's our break room, but it's also where we have our morning meetings too. So right now we're just seeing all the screens of the shop, and we have that in another office as well. But in the morning, that turns into our meeting, so we talk about it. We have a different guy lead the meeting every single day. I think I have 1 or 2 guys that don't do it out there, and we've worked with them, but we're good with that. So the guys that really want to do it and their heart's in it, that's what we're rolling with. I used to make everybody do it, but anyway, we try to make this as relaxing. We do work hard here. We're putting in a lot of hours and stuff. So when they do want to take a break, these all recline. They can relax and have a good time. So yeah, it's our meeting room, break room, and that's pretty much it for this room here.
Well, you've done a great job. It's like I walked in, I was like, oh man, it just looks comfortable.
Yeah,
I wanted to sit.
I had a guy tell me one time that I think I heard it. Well, who's the guy in Germany that has the Michael, that to make it where they want to come to work, Somebody else told me, well, good luck with that. But I think these guys really do enjoy working here, and we try to treat them as good as we can. So, all right, so that's this room, right? And Hugh on Quantum Lean reaches out to me. Hey, I got a guy that can help him out. Next thing I know, Paul Akers is sending me messages. And so I'm just like, what? You know, and I sent him a message. I just told him, hey, what he's done for me, what it's done for my business and all of that. And now, like, Paul and I have become like super great. You know, it's been great. Anytime I send him something, he answers me like, if he can, if he's in some other country. What's he been, 140 something countries? And he's probably kite surfing right now, who knows? But he is amazing at how busy. You think about how busy he is, how many people he's talking to, and he still takes the time to like get a hold of people. That's amazing to me. It's amazing. Let's go to the front.
Let's go.
All right, so I'm going to take you guys right into our office right here. They are stand up. I think I'm the only one that really stands up most of the time. But we have Michael, who's been with us 20 years, Jared, my oldest son, Gentry, who takes care of the door section. And these guys, between Michael and Jared, they run the office pretty much. Jared and I do go on a lot of installs. Mike's almost always here, and he's also our tech guy. You know, like if computers break down, my phone breaks down, Mike, I don't know what's going on, and fixes it. But Jared takes care of the morning. He has a part in the morning meeting where he lines the guys out on what they're going to do. So he has the pulse of the whole business, what has to happen. He's lining everybody out, who's doing what, where we need to be at, those kinds of things. All three of our desks are in here, which is kind of cool because if we have a question, it's just a matter of turning around or what these guys are doing right now. It works out really good. When we built this place, we thought 7,500 was, it's huge, you know, but you'll see it's pretty small now. I think that's we were talking about it in the morning meeting. My biggest challenge right now is this facility. And just because of the tooling that we have, we're moving things out of the way to roll something through to go to the next apartment. So I'm moving a sliding table saw so I can get a cart through. You know, you're playing this game back and forth. So we are thinking about talking about maybe another facility. I think that would be huge.
So, but while we're in this room, the thing that everybody who's going to see this video, you guys are all going to be famous, by the way. We get millions of views. That's a lie, total. And you get like 5 views. How are all of these desks so clean? There's no paper, there's no sticky notes, there's no nothing. Like, how's that happen?
So what we're trying to do, not that we don't have paper, but when I do use paper, I'm scanning it and it's going back into the computer and I'm throwing that thing in the trash. So like I just had a morning meeting. I had a meeting with a customer. I'm going to scan my notes. I took a video. I had the builder take a video of me. It was like a Reader's Digest version of the meeting so that Mike and Jared, when they go to fine tune the drawings and stuff like that, it was like they were right there. We have everything on a Google Drive. So you'll see that I have bids. These are jobs that are just waiting to hear back from. And I also have current jobs. So this is all of our current jobs that we have right now in front of us, right there. Everything goes into the customer folder, everything. Even when I go to measure a job, I'll lay tapes out on the floor where plumbing's at. I'm talking about things in my video, like, hey, watch out, look where they put this duct, or the plumber did this. This might need a call to the builder. One thing I tell these guys too, we need to be the builder for the builder because I don't want to have to redo something. I don't have time for that. And just because maybe a builder's a little on the sloppy side, I need to take care of that, or we need to take care of that. Hey, did you know that this is going on? And a lot of times they don't. They don't know. They're letting other subcontractors just do the work. So if we can catch any kind of problem, the other cool thing about doing a video in a meeting in there is, this is a perfect example. The builder had me come down from the ceiling. Well, the homeowner wanted all the cabinets to go to the ceiling. And I said, hey, make sure you guys put these cabinets up to the ceiling, the 9-foot ceiling. And the builder goes, Joe, it's a 10-foot ceiling. I would have lost all of that. That would have been that one video saved me thousands of dollars. So we do it. And if there's a multiple video, we just keep the current one. They'll get rid of stuff. If notes change, they get rid of that out of this digital folder. And we only keep the current stuff. Every single person in this facility can pull that up. And you'll see that when we go out into the shop too. We all work off of it. These guys also, when they fine tune the drawings and they make a video, they talk about it. So you don't really see them, but you see the screen and they talk about all the particular things that have to happen in that video. And so everybody here is required, even the install guys, when they go to install, it saves us a ton of time. We watch it and I know exactly what's going on.
Oh my God, your installers can see the job before they get there.
Yeah.
On the drive there, their mental modeling. So what I'm hearing, just for clarity, is like 99% of the world shows up with these plan view drawings and they hand that to their engineer and their engineer draws according to that. And you don't know where the outlets are. You don't know if I measured to the trim or to the opening. You don't know if there's a hole in the floor, a hole in the ceiling, and you make that video. So let's say a video, what does it take? 5 extra minutes?
Yeah.
How much time does that save you at the end of the day?
Oh, the time and what it saves you. We just did a garage. I say a garage. It's like $18,000 worth of cabinets, right, for this
A
garage.
normal person's house.
Right. Well, if I would have just took wall measurements and been done with it, but I took a video and I also measured where they had some plugs. Like, hey, watch out. We can't put this pantry right here because there's a plug right here. And here's where it's centered at. It is so huge. I can't stress the video enough. We use them from start to finish, from when I measure a job to these guys sending videos out to the shop, to me meeting with the customer and all of it. And the customers know too that, wow, he took a video of that. And I've even had where with the builder out on a job site, hey, your bathroom wall's not deep enough for a cabinet. Oh, we'll get Joe, we'll get that moved. We'll get that moved for you. And then I call them, hey, well, I can't put a cabinet here. And they're like, oh man, we never. I'm like, oh really? Because, oh yeah, that's right. They know. They know. Man, I dot the I's and I cross the T's.
That was going to be my next question. Like, how many times does that come in handy when someone's like, well, I didn't say that? You're like, oh, maybe you're right, but let's just watch the video again.
I had
Brilliant.
I had a builder one time. It was a huge laundry room. I mean, I'm talking a laundry room the size of a kitchen. Very specific, very specific. We're going through the whole thing. I'm actually videoing him talking about what he wants. Like if a builder will do that, I'll just video them talking about what they want. And he's very specific. I hand it off to my guys. They draw it. They email the drawings to the customer. The customer calls me, hey, Joe, that's nothing like what I want. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let me get with the builder. And I call the builder and I said, hey, customer says, yeah, where in the world did you get that? I'm like, do you want to watch the video of you telling me oh, and then he just starts laughing. Oh, that's right. That's right. The videos are so huge. And we use them. Everybody's got a phone now. Everybody can take a quick video. All of those videos go into these jobs. So every single thing in here.
Can you show us an example of a video, like just a clip?
Yeah. Let's see.
So Joe, do you have a standard for when we go to site measure or we go to site, here's what I want you to do? You must have a standard, right? Mm-hmm. And then.
So when we go to a job site, I'm usually the one that measures all of the jobs. So like today, Monday is my day for meeting with customers or measuring jobs. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm literally out in the field installing cabinets.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's the only thing I know how to do now. I'm a woodworker and all these computers and all this stuff, like I'm an old school woodworking guy. So I know how to sell, I know how to measure jobs and, the simple things like that. But like, to be honest, unless I watched videos of what to do, we have SOPs for how to run the CNC. We have SOPs for the doors. I would have to watch those videos to know which buttons to push and to do all of that. That's the other cool thing about, I know I'm jumping all over on you. I didn't even know how to turn on the Macor, the flatline sprayer. And they had a meeting one time and they made me go over there. I hit the QR code. Oh, this button. And you got to do it in the right sequence. Otherwise you mess the thing up. Like it's got to be done in a certain way. And I was able to turn that whole thing on, get that whole thing ready to spray. And I've never run hardly a part. You guys see me doing videos of that stuff. That's all I do is in those videos. Let me see if I could find something here. So
I think this video thing is just so huge, and I don't know why the whole world is not doing exactly what you're doing.
So we have in this folder, you'll see that we have office stuff. I have a contact page that I make the customer fill out. So it's all the stuff we need. It's the builder's name, it's the customer's name, the job address, a phone number, and the customer's email. So I've got that there. And this is in all of the folders. It's one of the first things I do. Okay, okay, so these are notes that I scanned, or somebody, whoever had this meeting, scanned so that stuff's in there, just handwritten notes. Let's see, we're all metric here, rough drawings. Let me find a job where we have and these jobs go through here pretty fast. So once we complete a job, these guys take it right out. And I mean, they're getting stuff over to Robin, who's sending a bill like ASAP. And that's the other cool thing about just-in-time production. We can order the material, we can manufacture it and get it installed before I ever even get a bill for the material.
That is
That's
pretty impressive.
Before, I used to have a $100,000 line of credit that was maxed out always, and holding my breath that some money would start coming in, because we did what everybody else does. They get jobs and they're just starting all these multiple jobs. So you put me on the spot here. Let me see if I can find, okay, this is a meeting. You really can't hear it too good, but this is the guys, this would go out into the shop. So the audio, the voice is very low on this, but he's going to go through each room and talk about the specific things. If it's standard stuff, he's going to say, hey, this is standard.
Right. Just so people know, on the video, this looks like just drawings on a screen, but this is actually a video that someone's making of the drawings, and we can hear it. You probably won't pick it up in the video, but we can hear him talking and showing specific things about these drawings. So, wow, just like to draw your attention to the details before you even start building.
This one video, like Jared or Mike, they don't have to do this over and over and over again because all of the questions are answered right here. So, and my guys know too, it's everybody, we're human, right? We're lazy. So it's real easy to come into the shop. The first thing these guys are going to ask them, did you guys watch the video?
Right.
Now, if something wasn't addressed in the video, which hardly would ever happen because everything's in that video, they should be able to rock and roll and just go.
I mean, I'm just like blown away by this because the amount of I did this for 25 years, so I fully appreciate the amount, like the site calling the office and the office calling, and then trying to find the site super because something's not in the right spot or whatever. Like, it is just such a cluster. And 3 videos up front, one with the customer, one with the site measuring, and one with the engineer going through the drawings. Boom, you're done. Like, it's no mystery why things go through here like lickety split. Like, this is like, we're done. The tour's done. Good, nice, thanks for talking. So, like, it's that good. That's that, like, the rest is, and what I think a lot of people miss in manufacturing is we preach it all the time. We draw that mountain, that Shingo taught us with the river going down the mountain, but quality at the source. And the source is your engineering. And if you spend $1 in engineering, you're going to save 100 in the shop, and you're going to save 1,000 on the job site.
Oh yeah.
And you put in a few $100 in the engineering, and then all the rest just happens. This is amazing. The trip has been worth it in the first 5 minutes.
Well, I have a question about that. You must have a sense of the amount of waste that reduced from interrupts. How about things being done that incorrectly in the shop, or them coming in and asking you questions all the time, or there's 1,000. This is what we're trying to preach to people, right? Just answers where the question is, the level of clarity, but also make it easy for me to digest the information you give me. Don't clutter it up with stuff I don't need. You're literally walking someone through that draw. I just can't believe I'm sitting here watching someone walk me through that drawing. Every single little detail you're going to call out, or, what about this? Pay attention to this. It's like, you can't miss it.
Every single person watches this, including myself, Because things can change from when I visit with the customer and then these guys are emailing the customer's drawings. They might send something back. Hey, you know, I want the hood to look like this, or I want this color. And I didn't even know about that. So when I go to install these cabinets, I'll either pull my phone out and watch it. I know that I'll see on a Trello, oh, it looks like we're installing the Smith job tomorrow. So I'll go to Google Drive, I'll pull up Smith. I watch the video on it. Oh, they totally changed the wood on me. They're doing a rustic walnut. And I thought they were going white oak. All of that's in there. There was one time my youngest son and I went to do an install, and he comes to me and there was something really funky in the laundry. Well, we were just busy. We didn't watch the video. And so like I'm in panic mode of, okay, I got to figure out how to make this happen now. And so we did all this stuff. If we would have just watched the 5-minute video, it would have answered all of that and saved me a ton of time. When you're asking about how much time would it save?
Well, and defects and all that stuff. Like, is there any way to roughly calculate or quantify what this has saved you, or capacity that it's opened to me?
That's a great question. I do know for a fact that my goal is, and I put this out there, we want to be able to install a house in one day. When I first told the builders, we'll get your house installed in one day, everybody thought I was a liar, number one. They said, there's no way. So when I presented that to my team, they're like, what? It's 3 or 4 days, like is what we normally do to install a job. I said, I want to get it to one day. And so we got it to a 3-day job down to 2. We're all happy. We got a 2-day job down to 1. We're excited, but we stayed there till 9 o'clock that night. Now we can easily, we're back here at the shop when everybody's getting ready to leave. And you'll see, like, between things like this, a tool trailer that's always committed to exactly what you need. Each guy has his own toolbox. We're not sharing nail guns. We're not sharing compressors. Everything goes back in a specific spot. The videos are, I can't stress enough. And I do have a lot of people reach out to me and I'm like, the videos are probably one of the biggest things ever. It's so simple. It costs you nothing. It goes in a cloud when you're done with it. But we also, I can always go back and look at something. Everything's in there. We have a spec sheet. But you're seeing papers right now, but once we scan that,
paper.
like there's not one file drawer in here. And because we scan it, we put it into their folder. If I'm out on a job site, if I'm here in the shop, if I'm at Chili's eating lunch, I can get any information. And so can every single person in here. We don't have any secrets. Everybody's supposed to watch the video. And it's so cool because we don't have to talk to each other. You'll see guys out there, and I used to like, what's he doing? Is he watching something? But he's watching a video of what's going on. So that guy's laying on the table watching a video. And so then he jumps on the CNC. It answers all the questions that he needs. He knows what the material is going to be. You know, anything that's kind of funky about it, he's getting all of that information. Every single person watches that video. Lynn, it saves so much time. And the defects and stuff like that. If we built stuff wrong and we installed stuff wrong, or we installed it, now I got to go back out to that job. I don't have time for that because I've already committed to my other builders that I'm going to be at a different job tomorrow. Now, if we have a super big house or a medium-sized house, it might take us a couple of days. And sometimes we'll bring enough guys to where we can get it done in a day too. Like everybody's cross-trained on install, cross-trained on the shop, things like that.
So you mentioned Trello. How do you use Trello to keep their front end organized? I think that's a resource that woodworkers need to tap into.
So for us, let me get out of all this. So I've got the Trello on my phone, and then I've got Trello right there. And everybody here has the Trello. So we have the individual.
Do you use this new feature?
That just popped up for me, so I need to learn that.
So good. Oh my God, I'm addicted to it.
I need to learn that. But we have, so these are the categories that we've made. Each individual person has their list of things that they have to do. Like if I pulled that up right now on my phone, there's things, and my guys do it too. They will set up meetings for me that I don't even know that I'm going to have. Like there's days when I think, oh, Monday's going to be light, and I'll have meetings all day long because I didn't look at my Trello. I look at it and.
So do you run production through it? Like, can you just show us how does a card move through the?
So we have the individuals. We have superior woodworking information. So these are meetings that we're going to have. We have improvement ideas. So I'm just going to go back and forth on you. So this is all office stuff. So these are bids that need to be done, jobs ordered, jobs. So here's a couple of jobs that I need to go measure.
Yeah.
And that's also in the Google Drive. So the PDF of that plan is going to be in there. Measured, but we're waiting on appliances. How often does that happen? So, and I let my customers know, if I don't have the make and model of the appliances, I can't draw anything. I can, but it's a waste of time if I do that. I want to do it. And a lot of times builders will want us, hey, can you just give us drawings before I even measure? Yeah. Well, I'm going to waste a guy's half a day for nothing. So I've trained my builders. I will, if you have the make and model of these appliances, we will get you drawings right away, and they'll be real drawings. They're going to be to the millimeter, not some like you were supposed to frame the wall here. Now it's really over here, you know? So these are different things in that category, ready for office work.
So what's happening here is these jobs, we're just dragging from column to column, and someone else is in charge of a column, or you or whoever. And so you've got this set up so someone could come and know I'm responsible for this column. Therefore, I got to it's like a hot potato. I got to get it out of my column into the next column.
Yeah.
Great.
It's me grabbing the football. I'm going out and measure a job. So I'll see jobs that I need to measure. Once I measure that, just like you said, I drag it over into the next section. If we have the make and models, it goes into a next section. So these guys, then they'll see between Mike and Jared, then they're just taking it off the top of the list. Okay, it looks like I got to start drawing this one. And they go, once they get that done, it goes into the next category. We're just passing the football to the next guy. So it works its way all the way through the shop. So we have training. Robin's got her things and individual to-do lists. So like, here's some things that I need to specifically do. There's no way in the world I could remember this kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, I used to when I was a kid. I remembered everything. Like, I knew what everybody was supposed to do. Now I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. But if I can look at Trello and I just go from the top of the list, I need to call this guy. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then once that's done, I just archive it. I get rid of it, or I put it into the next. If it's something that needs to go into the next category, I can do that.
So you don't have some big elaborate ERP system running the whole deal. You got Google Drive, Trello, and what do you do all your drawings in?
So we're cabinet
vision.
Cabinet vision.
Okay.
Cabinet vision.
And then I'm assuming that's all screen to machine, like just from there, you know.
So, and even if I have a meeting with the customer, but they make some changes on an email, if they'll say, everything looks great, proceed forward, I let them know. That's just like a signature for us. These guys will clean up the drawings. They'll make a video of that. They send it out into the shop. They have to watch the video before they start the job. The material's already here. These guys take care of everything they need. We bring it in just in time. We turn it into product. You'll see out there in the shop too, that when you're done with your part, like the carcass guys, they can build 3 or 4 carcasses and it'll go on a rolling cart. And my rule is if it has drawers in it, or if it has shelves in it, or if it has a trash can, it has to be done. You can't slide that off your bench until that stuff's done. Once that's 100% done, it goes on a rolling cart. That's kind of the buffer. It tells you, you have to stop building cabinets, and you won't see, you probably will because I'm saying this now, but you won't see any cabinets on the ground. They literally go out into a trailer. We don't have a install load cabinet day.
Right.
It's as you're building stuff.
Well, we'll see all that. I don't want you to ruin that.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm giving you way too much information, but this is a magic office right here. It's small, but it's crazy efficient.
Yeah, I love it. I love what you have going on here. So, you've got Google Drive, you've got Trello, you've got Cabinet Vision. What would you say to any cabinet makers that might still be trying to use like SketchUp to run their businesses? You know who you are.
I can't even imagine.
We know who we're talking about. Fix it.
I can remember back in the day, I literally drew the cabinets out.
Right.
And then I got cabinet cabinetware because I thought at that time that's the shop that I came from, had cabinetware. Of course, they got bought out by Vision and all of that. And when I bought Vision, I thought, oh my goodness, $5,000, that's a lot of cash. But someday I'm going to get a CNC, so I ought to do it. And I was all excited, and they're like, oh no, you barely just started. Like you haven't even really started. You got your foot in the door, but now you got to spend all this money. And we all know that you're sort of held hostage by some of these companies.
Gotta pay to play.
Yeah, you got to pay to play.
All right, so the drawings are done. I see you got a stream deck. Very cool. The drawings are done. The Trello's scheduled. It starts heading out into the shop. Now what?
Okay, let's go on out. Oh, one thing I was going to show you, I probably have the smallest showroom in Twin Falls. This is my little baby
is the
showroom.
showroom.
This is our show. And what's kind of cool about this is, and I can sell just fine here. So what I'm showing a customer, I can show them my HDF style door that we built here. I can show them a raised panel door, and we're making all that stuff. We used to outsource from the Lewis boys. I used to even get carcasses, and I got all of my doors from them. And then slowly we just got to the place where we're literally making all of that kind of stuff ourselves.
Nice.
So I do my little spiel that I go through. I'm showing customers the difference, and I don't give a ton of options. I have a shaker style or a raised panel. I'm giving them crown mold options. If there's something that they see that we'll just let them know, hey, we can run anything through a molder. It's going to be additional cost, you know. So I'm kind of explaining all the different things to them, showing them the different things that they want. Then I take them into the client room.
So one thing I want to just hit on while we're out here is like, this is so smart that you're guiding the customer through what you want to build. They don't even know what they want yet, but when you show them, oh, that crown molding, and Mrs. Smith, that crown molding looks great. Oh yeah, it does. You're helping the factory by guiding the customer through what you want to build.
Right.
And then when they say, oh, I want something custom, no problem. You never say no. You let the price say no. Hey, yeah, we can do another molding there. It's $5,000. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Like everybody I talk to, that's like they're hung up on this custom thing, and it's like, yes, but custom doesn't have to mean that I make every part custom. Like when someone leaves Superior and they bought their kitchen, they feel like they got a custom kitchen.
Oh yeah.
But you walk them through what you build well.
A good friend of mine told me, go custom or go broke. You told me that one time. Because I had a builder that was wanting all this Gucci stuff, and it was just bogging the shop down. And my oldest son's like, what are we doing? Like, now we're starting to lose money. Yeah, we're doing the fanciest stuff on the planet, but we're not making any money. You hardly can charge enough for that kind of stuff. So, and I called that builder after I talked to you, and I said, hey, this is who we are. This is what I want to do. I'm custom, but there's a point here. And she goes, well, I wonder if I give the other guy that soup. I'm like, give it to him. Let him have that. I get 9 out of 10 jobs. He's working on the hardest possible thing on the planet that nobody wants to do, and I'm getting all the gravy. And so I'm like, thank you. And then when their designers come in, I'm like, yeah, give the other guy this one here, Oh, but he takes for it. Like they don't have the production thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is what we do.
It's genius. It's genius.
I know what flows through this shop, and I am trying to direct the customer in a way. Like you said, if you want something that's just really crazy, we can do it, but it's an additional cost. And sometimes you get designers in here, we want round, this and that. Oh yeah, we can do it. It's $8 bazillion.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Well, no. We need to stay within budget. Oh, okay. Then you want the raised panel door. And here we are.
All right, let's go into your room.
So this is we don't have a whole lot of floor space, but this little room is where I meet with the customers. I do need to get a new screen because that one went bad. I can bring up drawings right there. I do have physical paper that I'm going through that I'll make notes on that I will crumble up and throw in the trash after I scan it. But this room, after we pick out a door style, after we pick out a crown molding style, those kinds of things, and I'm circling a spec sheet of all the things that they want. We can pick out knobs and pulls, things like that. So all of that's right in here. And so I get the customers to pick what they want out. Once they like something, hey Joe, I want this one. I stick a cover cap on it. I take another fast cap cover cap and I put it on whatever they want. And I take a picture of that. And that's going to go in their folder. I'll also write it down. But the customer can see that, yeah, that's exactly what we want. And when we're doing the video, I have the builder or whoever's taking the video, I'll even have them scan to that because, a customer is looking at so many different things. They might pick this out, but maybe they thought they picked this one out. And they know that, man, Joe's got it. It's in the video. So I can go through that. I can go through stain samples. So, and I let folks know, I've got all 64 Sherwin-Williams stain colors. And I try to get them to pick off of the 64. Not that we can't do a stain match for somebody. I don't want to do that. So I send that stuff off to Meridian and I just tell the customer it's going to be a $150 stain match. If you can't pick something out right here, I mean, and the folks that want to take a sample to the granite company and things like that, we have just done this to where they can take a sample. We've made these samples that a customer can take. That's a big deal. We want to match the granite. I can't let them take all of my sample doors because the next customer that comes in, then I'm in big time trouble right there. So we'll let them take that. They can pick off of these kinds of things.
Joe, this is the best. Oh my God.
And then I have some paint grade doors that they can go through right here. Not that we do it very often, but like laminate countertops, if somebody wanted it for a laundry room. I've got Wilson art on the top, Formica on the bottom. They always ask, what do you prefer? I say, I don't know. I can't even tell the difference when I'm working with it. You just pick out whatever you want. We work it in a way, I used to not offer knobs and pulls, and I'd always tell people that it's going to be an additional cost. Now I tell them, you pick out anything you want. I just put it in the bid. Customers love that. They have to have knobs and pulls for their cabinets. So this is the same thing. We've just taken an average right there. And when these guys are doing their bid, and I always joke around with customers, they are different prices, but for you guys they're the same price. Sometimes I win, most of the times I lose, but we come up with it. It's just an average. Customers want that. They can pick off of this. Sometimes they'll have glass in the cabinets. Well, a lot of guys will have these boxes of glass, and that's just too confusing for customers. It's just way too much stuff. So I told the glass company, give me 9 of the most popular glasses that they have. And I've kind of coded it too. Instead of me calling the glass company and saying, how much is this a square foot? We have the old Superior Woodworking, $14 a square. I know what that piece is. I don't have to get on the phone. Hey, how much is this etched glass? Or how much is the CD glass? Or how much is the reeded glass? It's all done. It's right here. And I'll let customers know, if you pick a clear out, obviously that's going to be the best price. But and they will, when they see that, they will narrow things down too. Some folks, they don't care. I don't care what the glass costs. This is what I want. Okay, great. Well, we got it.
So you know what I love about this? Even though in lean speak, doors are waste, we have to open them and we have to close them. But what I'm picturing is when you're in here in a meeting with a customer, they're not distracted by 5 million things hanging on the wall and like you're talking and they're like, oh yeah, look at that other handle. It's like, here's the handles, pick, done, close that.
Yeah.
Here's what stain do you want? Pick, done. Like you walk them through the whole process right in this room. All the doors are closed. Now they can focus on what you're talking. This is so brilliant. I'm just like blown away.
I just
Blown
want to
away.
say, my description of leading someone through, I'm always encouraging our guys in the hidden factory. It's like you're walking them down a hallway and closing doors.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're
literally
Yeah.
walking them around a room and closing doors.
I can't tell you how many customers have said, wow, that was easy. And because if you think about it, there's a gazillion choices to make right here. I'm going through the spec sheet and I'm getting all the information I need to get this thing out into the shop. And some folks they'll say, how soon do we have to let you know? I'm like, well, if we need to get this thing started, I need to know today. Because you do have some folks that can't commit. But if you do this right, you're showing them all the stuff. It's almost like it's like a breath of fresh air for them because they have to go to the plumbing store next. They have to go to the granite place to know that they've got all of the people that were just in this morning were from back east. I said, do you guys want to go all the way with this? They haven't even started the house. No, Joe, let's do it. If we can, I said, oh, we can do it. We can do it. We can pick everything out. And you guys don't ever have to worry about this again. My guys will send you drawings. You just get me the make and model of your appliances. I'll go as soon as this house is framed to get measurements. Customers love that. They love that. The other thing that's kind of cool is if I have a customer that I feel is confrontational, I will stop this meeting and I will give them a tour of the facility. I can't think of one time that I've done that where I haven't got the sale. I had a customer, a lady come in, and I showed her a bunch of stuff. She really wanted to go with us. Well, the husband, I didn't know any of this, had already gone to the competitor, was sold, like done. They loved it. They got a showroom as big as my whole facility. Room after room after room, granite and cabinets, and go on and on and on. He was sold. She begged him to come here. He's like, no, I already told these guys I'm doing it. So I didn't know any of this. We're sitting down to go through the meeting. I could feel that this just wasn't going right. So I said, you know what, let's stop. And I turned around and said, follow me. I didn't tell him what we were doing. I took him out in the shop and I walked him through every single department. We literally walked right here. He says, you do whatever you want. We're going with you. And he walked out. So the wife and I picked the colors out and I got the job. He had already committed to the other cabinet.
Did you know there's a very popular cartoon that Toyota made that says your factory is your best sales tool.
Oh yeah. You know, if I'm not here and one of my sons is doing what we're doing with a customer or Mike, they're all trained. If something doesn't feel like it's going smooth, stop the meeting and you give them a tour of this facility. I don't give a tour. I used to give a tour to everybody, but that took a lot of time. I only do that if it's confrontational.
Right.
Or if somebody just like wants to see it. Those folks that were here earlier, they had heard about this place. They wanted to see it. The builder actually took them on a tour of the, because he's been through it.
When we post this video, you're gonna have to have like scheduled tours. Companies will already know. Well, you'll charge for it though, because yeah, this is
a lot of business gets taken care of between these two little rooms.
100%. I couldn't. This whole thing could be over right now because literally, like the shop is probably 30% of the equation. And people miss that. Like every call we get is always like, oh, we need to go make the shop faster. I'm like, yeah, we get there in 15 minutes. We're like, all your problems are in the office. Oh, you know?
Yeah.
And this is just, this experience, I feel it as if I was a customer coming through here. I would be so happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. It is phenomenal.
That's the other problem that we're always trying to solve in the value stream mapping exercises. I'm trying to get people to understand that you can guide people through this whole thing. And if people feel like you've got it under control and you're guiding them through it, they trust you and they don't, they're going somewhere else and they're getting a quote. But you guide them through the process and make them feel really comfortable. There's that level of trust and comfort. I think that goes a long way.
Oh yeah, yeah. So my rule here is I don't want anybody that comes to work to leave to go buy a screw somewhere or a piece of tape or whatever. If we don't have it here, then we've made a mistake somewhere in our process right here. So these guys know, like, unless it's an emergency, you don't leave this place for any reason at all. And if we're doing our job right, all of that stuff should be here. So we have a water spider. We have a guy that's checking stuff in, putting stuff away. We have another guy on Fridays that's going through the Kanban cards and he's ordering. And you're going to see something out there. I think I've posted it on Quantum Lean. Like, we order stuff from Amazon. So I have an Amazon box. I have one of my hardware places.
Show us.
Let's do it. Come on in. So these are our major vendors where we're getting everything. Lumber and sheet goods and stuff, that's a totally different deal. That's the guys in the office. They're bringing in what we need. We do stock like so much melamine because we go through it so much, certain things, but specific woods and all of that. But Amazon, those cards would be right here. Sherwin-Williams, the different vendors that we're going through all of the time. This is where we keep all of the stuff. And one of my rules too is if you use a caulk out of here, don't bring it back in here. This is kind of like a store in a way. You wouldn't take something back and put it on the shelf. I mean, not saying that they don't do that, but we've gone to a 2-bin system. Everything has a Kanban card in here. We're not in panic mode. Where I live in Twin Falls, it's either Salt Lake or Boise is where we're going to get most of this stuff. Well, you know, that's 2 hours away to go get that. It could be a big time problem. I do not want to run out of anything. If I was to run out of a compromat, you've just stopped the whole show here. And so everything that we have is right here. So how this system works is if I was done with this, there's my Kanban card. I look it up. I see that it's worth. I go put it in the worth slot. I put this empty container in the back, and there's my shelf grips. And we have enough that we're never in panic mode because we figured that out. We had to figure some things out the hard way, right? Like, oh, that's not enough, you know, or whatever it is. So every single thing that we use, you know, I was speaking at a thing one time. We have over 400 different things that we stock. I didn't even realize that we have that much stuff. So then the guys, when they go to stock the tool trailers, they'll come in here and we have these little things right here. These snap into our rolling carts when we go to do installs. And these are just the things that we need for an install. Oop. So this is obviously missing wood shims, but they're gonna fill up the different screws and all of that, and they'll get that 100%. So we're not, like when we're going to install, we're not missing a certain screw or that. I have 4 toolboxes. I'll show you guys those carts also. All of the chop saw, the different things that we have in there. But this is a 2-bin system and it works out killer. Awesome. This is pretty standard stuff right here. Another thing that we are kind of working on right now, you know, electrical panels and stuff like that. We're trying to color code the sections of the shop. So like the door section is green, so it's a little bit easier to find. The carcass section, the different sections, the yellow is our finish department. So we can track down these, and this thing is changing forever, right? Wood shops are forever moving things around. This gets changed all the time, but it makes it a lot easier.
I love your Kanban system. That's one of the things that we explain to people all the time. It's like, you don't even realize the power of Kanban until you do it, until it's actually running. Even when you're setting it up, you're still like, I'm not sure, until all of a sudden we haven't run out of anything ever. You know?
I was thinking about that the other day, like when we're doing countertops, we have the spray contact cement. It's not a big deal until it's a big deal, right? That you don't have a container, and I can't go anywhere in Twin Falls and buy that. So you're calling other cabinet guys, hey, can I buy a tank off here, or can I borrow one? How much time have you wasted? You'll blow a half a day dinking around with stuff that, like, we have a can out there. You know, we're good to go. This is brand new. Yes, that's my old one right there. When the guys wanted to get this one, they wanted to sell that one. I'm like, no way. So they'll bring their material in right here. The cool thing is it's right by the garage door. So even a semi truck can come in. We drop the material off. Everything gets loaded from this right onto the CNC. And from here, once those parts are cut, it's just like you're at the grocery store. That thing rolls forward, and then we go over here. That's what it's gonna cut. There's also a spec sheet right here, so he knows what's going on with this. All of that. They print labels right down there. Now this is something that we do. We don't do 1 at a time, we do 5 at a time. It's the perfect number for this shop. It keeps Gabe busy. On the CNC, he can keep 2 assemblers busy. And so we call it sorting the mail. We made these racks where they would only hold 5 cabinets. If Gabe catches up and he fills these up, he will go on to something else. He will stop cutting parts. When he sees that these guys are starting to catch up, he will get back on it again.
I was watching him earlier, parts are coming off of here, and he just turns around right into the edge bender. I was like, yes, this is quintessential when we talk about connecting processes. These 2 processes are connected now. One part, turn around, stick it in there, label it, turn around, stick it in there. Your edge banding and your router are connected. This is like Amazing.
And he's sorting parts.
And yeah, and they're getting sorted.
Explain your typical what you're doing here, Gabe.
First time ever doing this, sorry. So what I'm doing here is my parts are coming home to the CNC coat right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my labels next, and I'm gonna label everything. But before I do that, I'm gonna load up another sheet so I can have one cutting while I'm doing this. So the green light on, money's being made. Green light off, no money's being made. Keep it going.
Now I'm gonna load up another sheet. Gabe as a kid when he started couldn't even tie his shoes. Now, I don't think anybody in the shop can run as efficiently as Gabe on this machine.
This is so good. Except I can't. Well, I don't know. No, that's great. I'm gonna start labeling. What teams? First one's a part 14 on here. Now I just labeled out 5 or how many I can go, and then I just start banding from here.
Now, some parts need to be bored, and he'll also do that.
Right now, there's a drilling machine right behind you. But he doesn't even label all the parts before he starts edge banding. It's just whatever's right in front of him and edge band.
We're not putting these in a cart, waiting to get edge banded later. A couple of steps and we're on it. Two parts. We put those sanding discs there so they wouldn't slip out. That's not part of that machine. That's a top and bottom for a carcass.
What? You have around alignment is here?
Yeah, we have to calibrate every once in a while. The guys that are assembling will tell Gabe, hey, the stuff's not lined up exactly right. And so he'll stop and he'll make the adjustments.
I would put 4, only to put one part in that, that's your other problem.
One,
Very hard to hold something stable in one hand, or one hand, I don't know. I would do a little time study. And remember that as long as you can get all that done before that sheet's done cutting, it doesn't matter how fast he drills.
that's true. That's true.
You know, so if it's more accurate with one hand, with just doing one part at a time, you're better off with the accuracy because this is all still free time. This is what the world is missing with connected processes, and you're capitalizing on. Most people are paying their router operator to run the router. You're getting your drilling and your edge banding and your sorting for free. That's why you have a Ferrari.
I like what you're talking about with the quality because I tell these guys, quality trumps absolutely everything. I do not want to have to mess with something on an install because we didn't take care of it here. Now this is exactly what we need to put a cabinet together and a drawer. Nothing more and nothing less.
all of their tools are in Kaizen foam. And this whole section is blue over here. So this is striped with blue. That bench is blue also, but it has 2 stripes on it. So at the end of the day, you know if you're missing something. This is my father-in-law, 89 years old. And he flat out rocks it out here.
So, just for clarity, this is your assembly table right here and right here.
Yes.
So your parts are right here getting sorted, and your assembly table's right here.
And
That is less than 2 steps away.
Right, right. And so these are those rolling carts that magnetize to these bench. Once that's full, they have to stop. So Brock, that's my youngest son right there. He's putting a cabinet together. Once that's full and that bench, they'll roll them right outside into a trailer. So when the install day comes, we're not loading nothing. We're hooking up the trailers and we're driving to the job site.
Where did all the doors and drawers get put on?
Okay, now I know that you and I, so all of that is put in carts. So I don't snap anything on because they're painted or finished. And I would have to take them off to assemble and put them together. Then I'd have to snap them back on. So on the job site, we're putting those on, the doors and door fronts. So this is cabinet number 47, he said, and you can see it right there. He's already watched the video of what this job is, so he has a great idea of what's going on. Oh, look at this. It's magnetized. Now the CNC could do that part on the drawers, but we figured out it takes too much time. So it's a lot faster, and they would have to drill this one by hand anyway. So that's why we bought that machine and take care of it right here. We will do flip operations on the CNC for hinge boring and stuff like that. So if we have an undermount glide, that machine is right here. If we have a dovetail drawer and they need to clamp it, that's right here. So if we're doing a plywood cabinet with dovetail drawers, it's still the same thing. They're just putting it together right there, that part of it. Give them a Reader's Digest of what's happening here on the assembly. This is my youngest son, Brock.
So we just pull cabinets. Gabe just pulls or cuts out the cabinets for us there, puts them in the rolling carts, and then we go and grab them from there. Usually we'd like to have them closer, but you can see it's as high as can be in here. But so we pull them out of there. I'm going to assemble them here as much as we can. We don't like putting the doors and everything on because that's in. So taking them over to the job site, stuff gets scratched up. So, so everything gets assembled here, put together as much as possible, and then we take it right out to the trailers.
Do you ever have to leave this area to get a tool, or do you ever have to get a screw? Do you have to leave this for any reason?
Not unless we're having to refill something. We try to have everything that we
Even
need.
their glides, show them all of that.
Try to have everything we need in these. So the biggest thing that we end up going out to get is glides because we don't want to have a stack of boxes right here. So if we ended up bringing, we used to have this whole, we'll show you, place where the trailer was parked, and we ended up putting a container right there. So that's where we put all of our special hardware and all of our trash cans. Stuff
And
like
so
that.
that screen has everything you guys need, right?
Yeah, so if we ever need, like just a couple minutes ago, I was trying to figure out a cabinet. They had it looked like it only had hinges on one side, but it was a blind corner. So if we ever have a question about a cabinet, we can just pull it up right there. We can end up pulling up everything that we need as far as like the colors of banding and stuff like that. So.
And so everybody's already looked at the video for this job. You already have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
So after you're done building and that cart is full, what happens then?
So once this car gets full, we'll open up the garage door here. So then we just wheel those right out to the trailer, take them down, and then we can cart them in and load them right there. That way stuff doesn't, we say stuff doesn't get piled up every once in a while, like that part still needs something sprayed to the back of it, so we have to leave it there. But everything should, in theory, get built on the bench and brought right out and put into a trailer, so it's not touching it twice.
And you have enough trailers for all the jobs on the go, so it just goes to the
Yeah,
trailer.
and so each guy knows which job So like each trailer, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And
Yes.
that's also on Trello. Like if I'm knowing I'm going to go on an install, I'll look up on Trello. It's Smith is the one we're installing, and it's all in trailer number 3. So I don't have to pull the door down to see. And the guys that are building the cabins together explain that. So they're responsible for loading, and then the finish guys.
Yeah, and then the finish guys, sometimes it depends on how big the job is. Sometimes you'll have 2 trailers, one that's just full of finished stuff, and then one that's just full of cabinets. But that way, everything gets loaded and not getting handled twice. So once it's done, it should be going into a trailer.
So the guys need drawings when they're going to install, right?
So Gentry, he's in the trim department. That's his job. Once he gets done with trim, he actually prints out the drawings and he comes and puts them on a.
You see this?
He'll just clip them on a clipboard right here, so that way when we get out to the job, we have the drawings and we can tape up, all the drawings wherever we need them in each room.
We'll even cut, like if it's a laundry room and it's got a chrome pole.
Yeah, so this one already has it. I don't know. Because usually there's only just one in the house. Sometimes there'll be a couple, but usually just one. So we already have both ends, and then it has the name, everything, and then these.
That was always a problem for us. We'd get out there and I'd have to call my wife, hey, can you run us out a chrome pole? And we need the ends. So we wouldn't have any here. So she'd have to run to Home Depot and buy a pole, and she spent who knows how much time,
And there for a little bit, it was like, well, what if we cut it wrong? And it's like, well, we're measuring a whole job and we're putting cabinets in a space. If we can't figure out the size of the chrome pole,
We got a problem.
line.
So those little things, all these little things help us to install a job in one day. Like it's all these little tiny things that are already being taken care of. So the install guys are they're installing cabinets.
So each job, Gentry also takes care of this. He'll check in the hardware, and so he'll order all the poles and anything like poles and knobs, and then he'll put a trash can with it if it's getting a trash can. So then the guys there towards the end when the trailer's getting loaded, they can just grab this whole box and put it in there.
All the knobs and poles, anything that's like that is in that container. So the guys that are assembling the cabinets, they have to, when they're looking at the job, if it's got a trash can, if it's got drawers, all of that, that's their responsibility. The trim guy, whatever his thing is, he's looking at all over, and he has things that he has to do to make sure that all of that stuff's in there. The finish guys have the same thing. And we have different guys that, like one guy, Gentry, will put all of those knobs and poles in that trailer. So the guys that are going out on an install, they don't have to worry about papers, drawings. They don't have to worry about the knobs and poles. They don't have to worry about, is the cart even strapped to the trailer? Because that has happened where we've lost a cart. Somebody rolls the trailer in, but they don't strap it. So everybody, you have to do your part. And I tell the guys, I don't care how long it takes, but quality trumps absolutely everything. So you have to give the next guy a perfect product. The guys on an install should never, ever have to do something that should have been taken care of here in the shop. If I had to install a trash can because they forgot it out on an install, I would never get that job installed in a day. It would never happen. And I think a lot of guys they're fighting through all of that. All of that, those simple things can be taken care of right here, and that enables you to do an install in the Berry.
So this is our install trailer. We have another one that's kind of on a smaller scale. It has some of the same stuff. It's just like a nat trailer. I think it has one set of ladders and it only has 2 boxes. But this is the main install trailer that we use. So this is our battery box. We can roll this in, and it has a main plug that plugs into, because on these job sites, usually they only give us like one plug to plug into. So everything gets plugged into this. It charges all the batteries, and when it gets cold, this is the first thing that goes into the job, so that way these start warming up.
And this wasn't clean just because you guys were coming. This is the way this thing looks all the time. So we just installed a great big garage on Friday, and this is how it looks. Everything's got a specific spot.
And then just miscellaneous like caulks and adhesives and stuff like that, pencils, shims, hole saws.
I'm going to grab a toolbox while you're talking.
But just everything that we've through the years, we've figured out stuff that we need and stuff that you don't. So sometimes you end up taking something that, you end up loading up a trailer with stuff that you don't need. But every once in a while, you will need a tool that
So explain, Brock, what's in these things here. We don't take these in every single time, do we?
No, these usually stay out here, and these are the stuff that's kind of more specific on a job. Like every once in a while, you'll need a wood or a metal grinder. Hot glue guns, we use those every time. A hammer drill, every once in a while, you'll need those.
So there's no reason to take this into the job site because I'm hoping I don't have to use a Sawzall, but sometimes you do, you know, so you wouldn't bring every single tool in. But these, each guy, there's 4 of these boxes. If we had 4 guys installing, they're exactly the same, right? And go ahead.
Everything in each box is exactly the same. So we figured out exactly what we need when you're installing inside the house, and we've tried to put all those tools into these boxes. So
So every guy's got his own jigsaw. Every guy's got his own oscillating. Every guy's got his own drill and impact. We're not sharing anything. Everything's colored. So at the end of the day, even this Kaizen foam is red. Everything that's red goes into this box. Everything that's green goes into the other box. And so
This tour could be over at every step of the art.
Joe,
you are the real deal, man.
Thank you, my
This
friend.
is like my brain wants to explode right now. We're gonna have to chop this. This is gonna be an 8-hour video. We're gonna have to do because I'm not cutting 1 second out. Not 1 second.
So, and even the levels. So here's a 4-foot level. We have, everybody's got their own laser. We're not borrowing nothing. One guy rolls into the master bath, he can go all the way with that. He's not walking around finding tools. He's got everything he needs. His baby compressor's right there. His 18 gauge brads right there. His micro pinners right there. But stuff that every once in a while you might need something very specific, it's out here. And this battery pack too, I don't know if you saw this. This is the first thing that gets taken into the house. It gets plugged in. These batteries are charging while we'll bring in tools and things like that in. Everything goes back in a specific place. I was telling them, Brad, that this literally came back. This is how it looks. This is how this thing looks all the time. You know what tool trailers are like. They can look like a bomb hit them. And the guys, they have to dump these trash cans too. We want to set them up for success. We don't want to set the installers up for failure. Everything we need is right here. There's 4 boxes right there. They're all identical to that, except the colors are different, is all. So it really doesn't matter what toolbox you grab. Everything's going to be in the same drawer, all of those kinds of things.
Every section's my favorite section, but I really love this section. We're making our own 5-piece doors here. And back in the old days, I used to make doors. That's what I did at a cabinet shop. And 100 years ago, it was like 1 hour a door to make a door. We've got it down. And these are kids that have no woodworking experience. They're making a cabinet door in about 15 minutes. You know, when my guys wanted to, back when COVID was going on, there was supply issues, we couldn't get doors. You get doors, the quality's terrible, they made some stuff wrong. Well, you're trying to do your install, and now I gotta go back to that house because stuff's wrong or we're missing doors. That doesn't happen now. The stuff's square, it's done right. Quality trumps everything. I tell them, I don't care how long it takes, I want the quality. I want it done as fast as possible, but. So I'm gonna have Gentry talk to you guys. Gentry was, I used to call him a chrome cruncher. He started off, he swept the shop when he was a little kid. Now he runs this thing and he's amazing. His brother just started with us a couple of months ago. Hey Gentry, okay, I'm gonna have you explain this section. Don't worry, this is going like all over literally the world right now. So this is Gentry LaFleur. He's literally been with me since you were like this, and now he's almost as tall as I am. But he's done an amazing job over here. I was telling them it used to take us like an hour a door when I was a kid, and now you're making them in some crazy time.
Yeah, I wouldn't say my previous time 20 something minutes, but it's probably more like 30. We're being realistic, sanding and all that type of shit.
Going, okay.
So in just to build the door, I mean, it's pretty fast, but if you add in all the sanding times, it adds up.
Explain your whole process here.
For door wise,
Yeah.
okay, so start over, I'll grab a bunch of material from the shed. So right now we're gonna start some naughty alder doors. I'll just pull that right here. And then from there, I'm gonna check all my, of course I've already checked all my spec sheets and all that stuff. So I know what to set my fence to for sizing. So I'll start over here. you know, set my fence to whatever the size is. Rip my boards. I typically do about 20 if I'm kind of ahead of the guys. If they're waiting on me, I'll do 5 to 10 rips and then start that going so they have something to go on to. So then I don't really have presets set for doors widths, but I have presets for just board stock cut lists. So all of the trim for the job, we have presets so the guys can see what they need to do if they're gonna plane something. But let's say we're doing a shaker style door. We're gonna set this to 65.7. Our next cut's gonna be 64.7. So we'll run both sides and then we'll plane it to 22 is our first cut, 19.7 is our second cut, and then that's finished. Now we're gonna start cutting them on the upcut saw.
Gentry, you mark the sticks for crown, every single stick, right?
Yes.
So you put a mark all the way down the.
That's on that final rib at 19.7. I'll check them off the rips or off the planer. I'll mark them with a crayon, and then we start cutting. So here's our drive. Joe was talking about this in the office. So right now we're on this job here. I've got my board stock cut list open right now. I got my door cut list here. So I just go off of these measurements here for my style and rail. So got 4 at 808 and then 4 at 253.5. So I'll cut those. I put my styles first, and then I cut my rails and I stack them on top and I write the number of the door. It's number 28. And then from there, pull them down, run my rails to this machine first. And then from there, I run my styles and then my rails. And then from there, I'll bring them over to this side to assemble it. So I actually just built this the other day. So it's a little station. So if these guys are both taking up benches, I can put my rails here and put my glue on it, so forth. So styles, of course, here and here. I'll put glue on my rails, grab a rail, put it in, have my back pre-sanded, slide it in, grab my next rail, and then put my style, put my boards there so the clamps don't damage the door, and then it's ready to clamp. Once it's clamped, wipe the glue off, and then leave it in there for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once it's set, you take it right out. If there's any glue on the face, wipe off the glue. This joint sometimes has a little bit coming out the top. I'll wipe that off, and we put it right on top of the rack. From there, it's gonna go to our sanding machine. We used to putty it, and we used to nail it right here. But there's no need to nail it. As long as that glue holds, there's no need for nails. So we also don't putty it anymore. We used to putty it right after it was done, but it gums up the belts a lot. And it also, you have to putty a little bit at the end anyways. So we just wait to putty at the end if there's the need for it. So that's for door wise here, that's it. So we'd move on to the Eastman. So they're using the sander right now, but I mean, we run the face, of course, in the back through here. We get it to about 19.1 through the Eastman, and then we take it over to our shape and sand, and we have I'll actually show you the tablet. The guys can run through it, and it tells them every setting where it needs to be. So when they open this up, it pulls up to a Google Slides, and they can tap on this. You'll like that. And we're going to be doing wood doors. So I'll click on wood. We're going to be doing an eased outside edge. And then it's going to tell them what to set everything to. So we're going to need the jump cope on. So that's here. We're going to need all of the stations active or in. Now it's going to tell us what this needs to be set at for the correct amount of material to be cut off. Okay. And it's right there, it's at 30. And then all of these settings here, I mean, everything's already set up because we do a lot of wood doors, so that's just what it is. And HDF isn't any different. It's just we take a head out of the process, so everything is the same. But they can go and double check all of these numbers and make sure nothing has been moved. Those all the feed speeds and directions, and that's really important because if you don't, it's going to blow your door out. And then you're done. You can click back here, and it's ready to go for the next time you use it.
So this took some time to set up,
This was Jared.
but once we did this, literally anybody in your department can set this shape and sand up.
Yeah.
Anybody in your department can set those two shapers up.
Yes.
So if they know what the job is and they know what the door style is, we spent the time to make it perfect, and now you can literally, any guy can run over and get your machine. It seems like in the old days, it was always your ultimate cabinet guy that set up your shapers. And he spent half a day like horsing around, running test pieces, checking, that's not right, going back and forth. We spent the time, I told Mike, take as long as you have to. I want it absolutely perfect. Once we have it, now we get to reap the benefit of that forever. And I can have anybody set the shapers up, anybody set this up, and we're going to town. Going to town.
We just set this up. We've been doing a lot of decorative base for some of these houses, and we'd have to get a router, clamp it, run the router over it, and then sometimes you get some burning and you'd have to sand it out. Well, we had this head from when we bought the machine and we just never put it on, so just the other day I was able to get this all set up for base. Now anyone can set this up and run baseboard. So all of the settings, and even you need to lower the pressure to where it holds that board because it's actually 16 millimeter instead of 19 millimeter. So all of that information is here.
Look what's going on here. There's 3 cutting stations, all in the space of the normal person's 1 cutting station. It's brilliant. We're cutting the lumber here. We're cutting the metal over there. We're cutting whatever else over here. Like, this is making use of space. Henry Ford would look at this and be like, Joe, 2 thumbs up. This is amazing.
After they cut those chrome poles, right here, they tape it on, good to go. If there's any burrs on the pole, clean it up. The poles have a kanban card. So every department has its own tools. Gentry has what he specifically needs for making doors, trim, and end panels. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything is a picture. Even I can put this stuff away if I needed to. Everything's got its own little picture. Trying to set everybody up for success. It's pretty hard to put something in the wrong spot, you know. We clean every morning. We did spend a few extra minutes to clean. We cut off at 6:45 and go to our morning meeting. Today we went to 7 o'clock. So, but this place, I think that's one thing that people always say is they can't believe how clean this is. And we do it, I think there's magic in doing it in the morning. I think there's, after you're done, this place is all clean, you feel good about going to work, you know. I can't imagine doing it at the end of the day. Well, really, nobody does it at the end of the day, right? They're tired and they go home. All right.
You should be proud of what you got going on here, dude.
We were talking about if we had a bigger facility, I would still want the cell to look exactly like this.
That is, we have seen it over and over and over again where people move into a bigger factory and we like walls. So everything goes against the walls, and now all of a sudden everything's 10 steps further apart.
Yeah.
And your profit goes down the drain, and you're like, big building costs me money.
We said if we got a bigger facility, there's some sections we almost would just leave it identical. It's just, you know, there's some spots you could tell it's just a little tight getting through. This is the most I've ever seen of trash. You guys, I'm like you, I throw, if it's
after we're done with the job, we might hold on to a sheet or two for a week, and then after that, we're chucking it because you're going to throw it away anyway at some point. So, and it just makes you not efficient. So, I literally do not stock trash. Try not to.
So you don't see any value in hanging on to cutoffs that are, but even usable cutoff. You know, everyone looks at that like it's a piece of gold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just right in the trash.
I tell these guys, if we was to put a good door in a cart and left it for a year in this shop, you wouldn't even know that it was a door.
Right.
It would get so trashed. That's why I think it's so important. As soon as it gets built, it's got to get into the trailer. Too many bad things can happen in a shop. You know, you dent that door one time, and now what have you done to the value of that door? I either got to remake that door or somehow fix that door. If we were doing an HDF and MDF door, it would be taken care of on this CNC now. And sometimes if it's a paint grade door, Gentry, who's also cross-trained, who actually trained Gabe on the CNC, can easily come over here and start loading up the MDF doors.
I just can't get can we get a view of the floors? Like, this is a finishing shop. No finishing shop on earth doesn't have paint on the floor except for Joe's.
We never, we didn't spend any extra time in this. We just swept it up.
It's amazing.
So this is my old school, this is what I had forever. That was my paint booth. And I keep that, I still stain in there. I like the old way of spraying the stain on, wiping the stain off. This flat line would put stain on, but then it would look like a factory cabinet. I don't like the fake look of that. So we'll do, and we spray hoods in here, anything that won't run through the flat line. So basically what this is after they get stuff ready to go, like this stuff's getting ready to get the next coat put on it, they're gonna start sending it through this flat line. This tells the computer where the door's at, how big it is. It's gonna start running through here. We put pantyhose on this to keep it nice and clean. The guys are forever cleaning. These are all little 2-second improvements that these guys are expected to come up with an improvement every single day. You know, that's just part of their job. I had a guy tell me one time, I said, hey, we got to have an improvement. He goes, Lord willing. And I said, the Lord's willing, because I'm telling you to do that. That's your job. You know, that's what we do here. It's not just doing the work. And I think they understand that every time we do an improvement, we get that much better. So if you did an improvement every single day in a year's time, you're so much stronger as a business. You know, the guys that just do the work and they never do improvements, man, you're just staying stagnant. You know, I think as owners, we have to believe that. And there's times too where I'm out measuring jobs. If anybody has an excuse not to make an improvement, I'm out measuring jobs, you know. Sometimes I'll come back and I'll look around the shop and I'll be like, oh, that needs to be done. And if I didn't do that, that would never get done, and it helps us and it makes us that much stronger. So we spray conversion varnish, which is great for the customer. It's bad for me because it's really hard on your equipment. It's got acids and stuff in it. It's just super hard. I am looking forward to, there is a water base coming out someday from Italy that's supposed to be killer, but probably not. Maybe we'll be spraying. But anyway, we have to go through parts all the time. So these guys have their little replacement parts right here.
Oh my God, Joe. That's amazing. There's like everybody on earth has their tips and stuff and their little bushings that wear out, and then you're forever looking for them. You got them not in a bin, like right on the machine. Right.
We even have our pantyhose right on the machine. So we put this metal on all the walls, trying to keep this room as clean as possible. And you guys have probably seen around Christmas time, we literally stopped the shop for a week, break everything down. We're doing major maintenance and major cleaning and getting us ready for the new year. And then we take off from Christmas to New Year. We work pretty hard during the year, so we take that time off. And when we come back, man, this place is dialed, beautiful, clean, ready to go, ready to go. Here's all of our pumps for this, feeds this machine. That's the Equidos, which mixes the hardener. And you guys have all heard waiting for paint to dry. So you got one guy feeding this machine, you got another guy. This looks pretty slow, but when doors are coming off, it's coming off pretty fast. So we call it racking them. So they're racking all of those doors right here. And then they let it flash for so many minutes, and then we go into here. So this is like a glorified tanning booth. It'll get crazy hot in there. And we've tested it to where we've ruined a door on purpose to see how far we could go and, you know, trying to get it to go as fast. But basically in 10 minutes, I can send that and we're not stopping. We're just running. We're just running all the way through. These guys, if we're doing an install, they're spraying the job the day before. And like we're burning our eyes when we're going to install it. That's how fresh the stuff is. Sometimes we do just-in-time production almost too close. I know I cut it like crazy, almost in the danger zone. But the other cool thing about this is if somebody was to drop a door on a job site or if something happened, I can call the shop. They literally can make me a door. They could finish it. They could run it through here. My wife can run it out to the job site. We still got the job done in one day. Done. I'm not going back to that job. If I've got everything snapped on and done, how can you not cut me a check? Because I've got everything here. I got all my knobs and pulls. I got all my doors. There's no excuses. The crown's on. Now, if I don't have crown or if I'm missing my knobs and pulls, it's pretty hard and I won't send a bill. But if I've got everything there, Jared will send my wife a thing, send it, boom. And we're getting paid before. We make all of our own paint right here. We make all of our stain right here, which is kind of cool because if I order it from, say, Boise, it could take me a day and a half to get a quart. But now we're a quart short. We got it. There's a little bit of investment to do that. I can type in all the Sherwin-Williams colors right here. I can make my stains. And we have right over here the bases for all of that. Conversion varnish is kind of a different animal. So there's different things like for light colors, you mix a certain base. Darker colors have a different base, but the colorants make all the color right there. Now these guys have their own kanban cards over here. It's not mixed with the other section because the finished department's kind of its own thing over here. And they're getting it from Sherwin-Williams. So it comes out of Meridian. So they will literally make their orders and things right over here. We got.
Do you have a central purchaser that does your purchasing, like sheet goods, like all this stuff, like?
So this stuff is taken care of by the finish guys. The sheet goods and lumber is taken care of by Mike and Jared because they know what it's.
So the same guys that are up front doing the engineering are ordering the material.
Yep. But all of the hardware, the nuts and bolts, the screws, the glues and all that, that's getting taken care of by Gentry and Reagan. So one's a water spider checking stuff in, the other one's ordering it.
Okay.
And so on Friday, we make our order. We're not in panic mode because we know that we can last a week or two with what we got. And then we even have the UPS and the FedEx guy trained. They put it all in a cart over there, the incoming stuff. And I tell my guys, you be nice to these people. If they want a Pepsi, you take them to the fridge. I want them taking care of Superior Woodworking. They need the restroom, here you go. You'll see that too. Like everybody should be friendly to you. When I bring customers in here, I want my guys smiling at them. I want the customer to feel like, have you ever gone to an establishment where they make you feel like, oh my goodness, I shouldn't even be here right now.
Yeah.
Like they're doing you a favor for selling you something? I don't want that. I want everybody here. I said, when a customer sees you, you look at them in the eyes and you smile at them and thank them for coming. And I want everybody to feel good when they come here.
That's so awesome. I love how the floors are all marked. So, everybody thinks 5S'ing is just an exercise of cleaning up when actually the real reason is to identify abnormalities. So right now I can identify an abnormality. That rack should really be 3 feet over inside of those squares. And I notice you have like the floors marked for all of the racks. It's so brilliant. Like this is the little things that the whole world misses. I've never been here in my life and I just put that rack back in the right spot. Mm-hmm. And it was bugging me that it was over here because I could see where it's supposed to be.
Right.
So imagine your whole team is engaged like that just by putting little stickers on the floor. Now, rack's in the right spot. Oh, I feel better.
I gave a tour
So
to a
good.
bank. A friend of mine, he's the lean guy now, and he brought 10 or 11 ladies with him. And the one lady commented to him, she goes, I don't know anything about cabinet shops, but I could go to work there tomorrow and start putting cabinets together. It just seemed like so basic. We've made this kindergarten simple. I didn't go to kindergarten, by the way. and I don't have like this high college thing, so it's got to be simple for me. So we make this crazy simple, and we try to make it foolproof. So if you follow the SOPs, the standard operating procedure, you can't make a mistake. Now, if you make a mistake, you're obviously jumping outside the line, and now we got to talk about something different. Like, why'd you do that? You know that you're supposed to be doing it like this. That same gal, I told the story about the ham. We've all heard the story about the ham. The mom's cooking the ham. The little girl sees it. The mom cuts the end of the ham off. And the little girl says, Mom, why are you cutting the end of the ham off? She goes, well, that's the way Grandma did it. Well, why does Grandma do that? I don't know. You want to give her a call. So she calls Grandma. Hey, Grandma, I'm watching Mom. She cuts the end of the ham off. She sticks it in the oven. Why do we cut the end of the ham off? Well, honey, that's the way great Grandma used to do it. And she's sitting right here with me right now. Do you want to ask her? And she goes, yeah. She goes, great Grandma, why do we cut the end of the ham off? I see my mom doing it. Grandma does it. And why do we do that? I don't even understand why we do that. She goes, oh, honey, back in the old days, our ovens were only so big. So we had to cut the end of the ham off. But aren't we all like that? We're trained how to do something. And so we just do it. And that's the way I was trained to do it. Nobody asks why. Why is this done this way? And I tell these guys, if I show you how to do something and you can do it better, faster, all of the things, and it's better for the company, I don't have so much pride that you have to do it Joe's way. I just want the best for the company. And we'll do that too. So we'll make an SOP. And if we'll say, this is how you put a drawer together. I want everybody doing it exactly like this. If somebody says, I'd like to challenge that, we'll say, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, we'll do it after the meeting. I can do, in the old days, I used to put a drawer together for 4 minutes. We just had Brett, when Adam was here, put it together in 2 minutes, and he just started here. He put it together 2.5 minutes. If somebody says they could beat it, we'll see you do it. If they can prove that they can do it and the quality's still there, the speed and it's safe and all of these things, that's the new standard. That's the brand new standard. So we just want what's best. Do we think we have it all figured out? Not even close. We think of ourselves as like, oh my goodness, we were almost embarrassed that you guys would come here. Like, oh my goodness, we're going to get exposed to the world, But we know that we got a long way to go. Long way to go.
I don't know, Joe. I don't know how much further you have to go. This is pretty impressive.
Right? Isn't it challenging when you can say, hey, someone's coming in to have a look at his, it kind of takes them to the next level. It's a little bit of I just find people sit up straighter and they're like, oh, there's another reason to go a little bit further.
And it's part of lean is giving tours. Remember, Paul would say, if you're doing lean right, people want to come tour your facility. And so I always was hoping for that, And in the beginning, I would talk to people, hey, we're a lean company, this and that. And then all of a sudden I started giving a tour. Next thing and then I'd let the guys know, hey, we got somebody coming in on Friday. So they would get pumped and excited about it. And I think it makes your game better. And I think it keeps the pencil a little sharper. And like this morning, I feel kind of bad. We've been crazy busy. And I told everybody you guys were coming. But this morning, I'm like, 15 more minutes on the clean. Literally, we didn't this is the way we look all the time, Good, bad, ugly, this is it, And there's some things I'm walking around, I'm like, oh my goodness, what happened here, But I think giving the tours is a definite plus. I think it's huge. I've gone to Tyler Nay's. I've taken my whole team there. We're like blown away. Then he'll bring people here, and we go back and forth. He wants to come again, And I think that's the cool thing about lean is like Tyler's got a lot of the, don't get me wrong, Tyler's on another level, right? It's beautiful facility. But like when his flat line went down, they lost all of their numbers. Hey Joe, I lost all of my numbers. I had my guys right on it, give Tyler all of our settings, all of our numbers. They were back in business in a very short amount of time. That was cool because we sprayed the same things. We do a lot of things similar. And we go back and forth helping each other a lot. And if I'm stumped on something, we're stumped, I'll just go off and call Tyler. Hey, this is what's going on. What are you guys doing?
Oh, that's the best part of that lean community. Like everybody's just so giving. Everybody from our fearless leader, Paul Akers, all the way down to the guy who just started yesterday. everybody's willing to share and learn and grow, and it just expedites everything. You know, you're not on your own.
How can you not? Because when you get something so great, and a company like mine that was literally, we would have dissolved at some point. My wife told me one time, we're done. This is back in '08 and things were tough. We're done. I said, no, we're not. We're going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep swinging. I'd come in at 4 a.m. I'd work till I saw 3 people and it was really only one person. I was a worker. That's all I had was just, I knew how to work like hard, but I could not keep up with it. She goes, no, we're done because we have no money. I'm like, but then it hit me. So we called the accountant. He agreed. I'll call a bankruptcy attorney in Boise. I ended up selling my other shop. I moved into a literally mice-infested shop that was terrible. This is all before lean. And then we slowly started getting into lean. And then we started accepting it. And we're like, oh man, that makes sense. And I said, we were kind of doing good, you know, and we were going to build this facility. Things were starting to turn around. And I said, when we get into the new facility, we're really going to go lean. And Mike was like, why don't we do it right now when things are not good? And so we really started. So some of those things where we're loading trailers right now, that's from the other shop. You think this place is small. That place was tiny. We had no choice. We had to. There was no place to put the cabinet. We had to load it in a truck or a trailer. And so that was a beautiful thing. And so we took a lot of things that we learned the hard way and brought them over here. And it's made a huge difference.
One of the exciting things about this tour is right after this tour, we're going to be doing a podcast with Joe.
I forgot
We're
about
going to
that.
get all of these stories. So if you like what you saw on the tour and you want to hear more, then you have to tune into the podcast on the shop floor, YouTube and Spotify. We're going to tie Joe down to a chair for a couple of hours and get it all out of him.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for the tour. This
Yes,
was
sir.
unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, I don't even this. Joe's the real deal, everybody. Unreal.
Do you guys, would you guys like to all go somewhere?
Yeah.
Let's okay. Okay, so this room, you can't just leave this room at the end of the day. If you leave this room and you don't take care of some things over there, you've just ruined a machine that costs as much as a house. All these lines would get solid conversion varnish. It turns into a rock. So to turn the lights off in here, I have to take care of these issues. Now, if somebody goes to leave and they don't take care of that, well, you've just totally bypassed the law right here. So they might run, got that. Ooh, I missed that. They run over there, they flush maybe the whatever out of the lines. Now I can go home.
That is an ingenious Popio. Like, can't get at the light. Because if the lights are off, I know you left. I know you did it.
Oh, yeah. You know, if those lines got hard, if those were filled, conversion varnish, you have 4 hours to get it out of the machine. If you don't clean this thing, one time we were on an install, my wife calls me, I had everybody helping us, it's a huge house. She goes, I think the place is on fire right now. I'm like, what? Then my finish guy's like, oh, I forgot to flush the system out. We're like, get back to the shop. We had 30 minutes to get it flushed out. It gave us a warning, you have 30 minutes or we're in big trouble. If those lines got done, not only are they like $1,500 a line, it takes all day to do it. And it's the worst chore ever. I've done it. It's no fun to do. So this little simple thing right here, and there's another thing by the front door we'll show you before we take it off. Okay, so we do this once a month. Everybody cleans a certain section of the shop. So when we come in the morning, like last month, I had the worst possible job, the dust collection room. That's where they should send the prisoners from El Salvador, is the dust collection. It's so bad. It's like no fun at all. But anyway, I'm out of there now. Now I'm in the showroom area. I get to do the showroom. But we switch these around so nobody gets burnt out cleaning a certain section, and everybody, we just pass the love along, you know. So this is just Velcroed on, and you just stick it onto the next section. So this changes every single month. The beautiful thing about that is you get in a department, you think everything's fine, but the next guy goes and he sees, oh, that's broke, what's wrong with this? And they start making improvements in somebody else's department, which is huge. Like I made a bunch of improvements in there. And guys are doing that constantly. So before we leave at night, and you can see the colors too. So that's specific for like the yellow is the finish department. the blue, and different things. So they have to click that off before they can leave also. That way we know things are getting taken care of.
I love the color coding as well.
Yeah.
My number one takeaway from Superior Woodworking is that Joe and his team have decided that a perfect package handoff is what's going to benefit everyone the most, all the way through the company, all the way out to the customer.
So my number one takeaway from the superior woodworking is like so after every job finishes, they take a video and show into the meeting so they can actually review it, what went good, what went bad, and how they can improve it. So that's something that we can implement, and something is a very good idea.
My number one takeaway from Superior Woodworking is how they implement their step-by-step SOPs at each station. So instead of having a 6-step SOP on one picture, they would have each step broken down so you can slide through to see each step at a time.
My number one takeaway from Superior Woodworking was everyone on the floor knew exactly what they were doing, what they were supposed to do, and how to do it. And they were able to explain it to other people that don't know what they're doing.
So my number one takeaway from Superior Woodworking is because I can never just have one. There's a couple. So my first one was Joe and his demeanor and his attitude towards people and the way he like loved and treated his people. I thought, what a great leader to be able to be a people person like that. I think that we could all emulate Joe in some way. And the other one was the attention to detail. There was no stone unturned. There was no spot in the shop that wasn't cleaned. You know, under the machines was as spotless as on top of the machines. The paperwork, like just the attention to detail. And it really showed that he valued not making mistakes along the way. Nothing got shuffled down, you know, for the next guy to fix. So good job, Joe. Now, before I give you the shot of Joe's house, we're going to do the podcast from his house. I'm going to quote Michael. Hard work can take you somewhere. Lean work can take you anywhere. I guess we've got to show off the Superior Cabinets kitchen if we're going to do the podcast from in here. Beautiful. Wow.